They say a father gives his daughter away only once. I wasn't given that chance. When I arrived at the reception, dressed in a black suit with polished shoes and a carefully chosen gift cradled in my hand, my heart beat so hard I felt it in my throat. I gave my name at the entrance, my voice steady, hopeful. The man at the door glanced at the list, brows furrowing. He checked again. Then again. Confusion darkened his face as he looked up. "Sorry, sir. Your name isn't on the list." I stood there for a breath that felt like forever. My wife, no, my soon-to-be ex-wife, stood a few feet away in a lavender gown, sipping champagne like this was any other evening. Calm, untouched. I stepped toward her, each step heavier than the last. "Is there a mistake?" I asked, voice low, tight. She didn't even blink. Just that familiar, cold smile, the one she used when she wanted to cut me without words. "Did you really think you were invited?" she said, tilting her head slightly. "Strangers aren't allowed." Her words sliced deeper than any shout or slap ever could. I stared at her, stunned not by the cruelty but by how easy it came to her. Somewhere beyond those doors, our daughter, my daughter, was beginning her new life, and I wasn't even considered part of it. I smiled just once, small and sharp. "Then I'll live like a stranger," I said. I turned and walked away, leaving behind everything I had once called home. But what she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the man she thought she'd erased wasn't gone. I was very much here, and I wasn't the man she thought I was. I was worse. My name is Daniel Shaw. Former husband, former father. That's what they made me. Apparently, Lena and I were married for 21 years. We built a house, a family, shared dreams that once felt unbreakable. But I didn't become invisible overnight. That's not how betrayal works. It starts quietly. It starts with empty chairs at dinner, with your voice fading from family photos, with the sound of your own laughter disappearing from the walls. Lena drifted first, like a boat cut loose, and slowly she pulled Sophia with her. Sophia, my reason, my light. I thought I mattered to her. I was wrong. Lena rewrote our story when I wasn't looking. In Sophia's mind, I became the villain of a play I never auditioned for. One day, they moved out. No warning, no fight. Just a note on the fridge. Asterisk, this isn't working. Don't contact us. Asterisk. So I didn't. I stayed away, thinking maybe one day Sophia will remember me. The father who read her bedtime stories, who held her hand at the doctor's office, who built her swing set with splinters in his palms. The wedding invitation never came. But I knew the date, the venue, the time, the moment they erased me from the guest list. I started writing a new one. Revenge isn't rage. It's patience. The venue was city-owned, public property. I checked their permits. They hadn't filed them correctly. I made sure the city knew. I reached out to the vendors. Anonymous calls, legal concerns, copyright claims. The wedding planner's signature designs, tied up in intellectual property disputes. Her Instagram went dark. Her business canceled on them at the last minute. The band? Booked out, but they didn't show. A noise ordinance complaint had been filed that morning by a neighbor I'd paid. The florist van broke down on the way. Every spare tire on their lot mysteriously slashed. The photographer arrived but couldn't shoot. Her credentials revoked thanks to a licensing issue I'd set in motion weeks before. Everything they'd imagined for their perfect day? Gone. Shattered. But that wasn't the true strike. That was just the overture. The real blow came from a secret Lena thought she'd buried forever. Years ago, I'd taken a DNA test. Curiosity, nothing more. But what I discovered recently changed everything. Sophia wasn't mine. Biologically, medically, no connection. I never confronted Lena. I never yelled. I never asked why. I just watched. I waited. And then I found him, Paul Gregory. A lawyer. Clean record. Married. He didn't know either. I met him, calm and quiet. "I think your daughter is getting married this weekend," I said, placing the documents on his desk. DNA results, photos, dates. He turned pale. "I've never." "I know," I said, "but now you do." I gave him the address, the time, and I walked away. So when Lena's phone wouldn't stop ringing during the ceremony, it wasn't just because the band never showed, or the food truck caught fire, or the flowers were missing. It was because Paul Gregory was outside, demanding answers, demanding to see his daughter. And Sophia, sweet Sophia, stepped out in her white dress and met the man whose face was a mirror of her own. Same eyes, same jaw, the truth impossible to deny. That was the moment, the one where Lena's world cracked open and began to crumble. I didn't stay to watch the wreckage. I drove home, windows down, the night air cool against my face. Let them trip over their lies. Let them explain the chaos. Let them remember that I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just walked away. But before I left, I sent Sophia one last thing, a letter, handwritten. No blame, no bitterness, just truth, a timeline of everything. Not to hurt her, to remind her who I really was. A father who stayed silent too long. A man they tried to turn invisible. A man who finally chose to be seen, not through rage, but through quiet, undeniable truth. Do I regret it? No. I didn't ruin her wedding day. I gave her the chance at another one built on truth, not silence. And me? I'm no longer her father, but I'm no longer invisible either. Not anymore. Please subscribe, and share this story.